So we are inside our next game, guys. It is going to be a best-of-3 matchup still. It looks like we're going to be kicking things off on the Boneyard as Team Chrono Boost is going to be taking on Team First Class Snipers. So Azide Superninja, GETSLAMT, dKiLLeR. They made me host. Alright, well, still.
Should
Ready
make us
when
refs
the
just
players
in case.
are.
Just in case.
Oh no, we will definitely be set to referee. No problemo there.
Alright.
So right now, guys, just waiting for everybody to be ready. Looks like Superninja might be AFK for just a second, guys. So it's going to be just one moment before we get started with our next matchup. How's everybody in the audience joining the broadcast today? I'm looking like over to my left because for me, the audience is over to my left. It probably looks weird on the camera because it looks like I'm just like talking randomly, like somebody like, "Hey, how's it going over there, buddy? Yeah, doing a good job." But no, I'm just curious what the audience is thinking. So right now, waiting to hear what the audience has to say. I'm kind of curious.
I've actually popped in a chat, you know, here and there throughout the matches. A lot of people like the studios, and you know, and some people have commented that they like the kind of mix and match thing with the green screen from last week and this week.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a little while. I was kind of playing around with it. Let's take a little bit of a drink there. Got to wet the old whistle.
For sure.
But yeah, I was kind of playing around with it a little bit last week. I mean, of course, there is no illusion that I'm not in a giant studio here, and if you thought so, then I guess good on me. So right now, still waiting for Superninja to get ready. But I'm just kind of curious how the audience has been just enjoying things in general. I'm curious which team they're rooting for, more importantly. Are they rooting for Team Chrono Boost, or are they rooting for Team First Class Snipers?
I bet a lot of people like both of these teams a lot, actually. Superninja AFK looks like maybe we'll get a...
We should get him into the game soon, guys, though, and we will get this round of 4 matchup on the way. Maybe Superninja had to use the little boys' room. 1v2, go go. I don't think that'd be very fair for them, fans. So it looks like we got some people saying they want First Class Snipers to win. Haven't seen a whole lot of cheers for our team of GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR. Surprising. Oh no, that is for First Class. So I mean Azide and Superninja.
Yeah.
I see someone saying they like turtles. Guess turtles are cool.
Turtles are good. Saying
Good
he likes Dignitas players.
Like to eat them. Turtle soup. Superninja has finally joined Forfeiter 1v2 go. Ready, guys? So right now we're just playing around with the players a little bit, waiting for Superninja to get into the game. Waiting to see if he is ready. As soon as he gives us the heads up that he is, we will get going. Got the ready from Azide, ready from Superninja. GETSLAMT dKiLLeR. Tell me you haven't gone AFK while we were waiting, please.
There it is.
Go by GETSLAMT. You know what? I'm starting the game. I hope dKiLLeR's ready.
Yeah, probably.
I hope he is, because if he's not, this could be a tragic restart. Alright, here we go, guys. Countdown timer has begun. 10 seconds, and into the game we will go. Introduction's about to come up. Going to be the Boneyard here as game number 1. Best of 3. First Class Snipers. And, of course, the team of Chrono Boost. Who's going to come out on top, guys? We're about to find out.
Exciting.
Alright, guys, into our introductions. First off, spawning as our pink Terran, we're going to have GETSLAMT, not playing random, important to note out, is actually just rolling Terran. And then his teammate going to be spawning as our yellow Zerg. He is, of course, going to be dKiLLeR from Team Dignitas. And then, of course, their opponents, a very renowned team in the 2v2 scene. We have first as our red Protoss, Superninja. And then his teammate spawning as our purple Protoss, Azide.
Yep.
So alright, here we go. Tier door keep. Double pylon, par of the usual for Team Chrono Boost going down. Gonna be sending both their scouting probes in different directions, it looks like. I'm gonna be really interested to see if Superninja does go for that fast cannon rush against these guys, because he has done it against GETSLAMT's teams a multitude of times, and occasionally successfully so.
Yeah, usually, I mean, against other Protoss compositions, it's almost a given that he will do them. And usually you would say that, you know, TZ, no, not so much, but you don't know Chrono Boost, they will cannon rush everyone and anyone. And we do see a probe making his way to the front. Let's see if it's going to be a gateway or a forge. It is a forge. Okay, so we are going to be seeing some type of cannon rush coming out of Super Ninja. Definitely going to be for the Terrans, I would think.
Yep, definitely agree with you there. I'll try not to spin the camera too much, guys. I know how it does make some people a little motion sickness. But we do see that, of course, that Super Ninja with the googly eyes here. So he is trying to keep that probe alive. We saw him actually use this exact same play on this map when they were close spawns with their opponents, and I can't help but wonder if he's just going to try and do that again. Maybe throw the pylon down on the high ground. Ooh, actually going to go for this low ground expansion here of dKiLLeR. Now, I would expect dKiLLeR and GETSLAMT to pull more than just one worker here to deal with this. I doubt they're going to want to let this go up. Super Ninja, of course, walking around the base with his probes. Does have a second probe on the way as well. So Super Ninja will have 2 probes to try and get this rush to go down. And they're actually underreacting to this, and the cannon goes down. Second cannon goes down as well, and I am shocked to see them underreacting to this so much.
Yeah, I think dKiLLeR didn't expect them to go through this. That's the only thing I can think of that would happen. But we do see drones getting on that first cannon, but the second cannon safely tucked away in the back furt now. We see a depot out of GETSLAMT there. Okay. I don't know why, but cannons are probably going to end up happening. Yep, cannon gets up. Hatchery gets canceled. Ooh, cannons get canceled. Very, very good move out of Super Ninja. Marauder's out now, though. So they'll be able to clean this up with, you know, targeting down the pylons first. But we'd see Azide's expansion actually already finished. So, you know, they haven't done actual tangible damage, but the hatchery was canceled, you know. And now dKiLLeR's hatchery is on the outside, which is going to play probably a big role in the mid-game here.
Yep, so we had the interesting supply depot go down by GETSLAMT here in the back of the base. You know, I wonder if that's maybe just for spotting purposes, so that they can make sure that he doesn't try and ever creep forward these cannons any further than they've gotten.
Could be. Yeah, could be, definitely.
Because the cancel is definitely going to have to go down, but he is going to manage to clean this up without taking any damage. So actually a very good cleanup there by by GETSLAMT and by dKiLLeR as they clean it up without any damage whatsoever. Just using a couple of Marauders to outrange him at a good angle.
Yeah, we see actually a probe getting into dKiLLeR's base, scouting that he has indeed pulled drones off of gas, meaning he is not doing some bailing or roach crazy stuff. Oh, puts him back on after he gets scouted. Okay, so maybe some mind games here, but they actually have not seen the natural of dKiLLeR yet in the pretty weird spot of, you know, outside the base in the right side of the map.
Now, we do have a Stargate play on the way from Azide, so it looks like they're going to try and get a little bit harass heavy here. I'll be interested to see if he's going to go single Stargate and maybe get a Void Ray and a couple of Phoenixes to do some damage more aimed at dKiLLeR, maybe killing off some Queens and whatnot. Or if he's going to actually go for just straight Phoenix harassment here. But we actually see that these Marauders not coming to the front, and they're going to definitely get this Forge here from Super Ninja.
Yeah, this is the old Overlord and Marauder push, and you know, the crazy thing about this is Azide and Super Ninja are putting up tons of cannons because they actually assumed that dKiLLeR doesn't have an expansion now yet, so they actually expect dKiLLeR to come in with a lot of Lings or a lot of Banelings or something right now. That's why they're defending so fervently at the front, which is actually not the case because dKiLLeR has been droning the entire time.
Yep, definitely going to be able to pick off this last gateway before these Marauders are going to actually get shooed away, but now that this Void Ray is out, might even be able to save this last gateway. There we go, it looks like GETSLAMT, nope, not going to try and target down the gateway. This Void Ray is going to get chased, and that is going to prompt them to now retreat from the base, as that Void Ray is just going to do way too much damage if they stay and hang around there.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see that another Stargate, okay, double Stargate going out of Super Ninja, which, okay, I mean, I've never seen this before where both of them get Stargates. But,
well, it looks like actually Azide's going to be switching into Robotech.
Okay, there they are.
So it looks like he just got out that initial Void Ray to hold their front, and now realizing that the push is gone, is going to actually just be switching it up. Probably would have preferred to see Azide go with the Stargate play just based on tech ease. But as far as Colossus production goes, Azide's going to have a much easier time doing it, because he is, of course, going to have 2 bases worth of economy to do it off of, which Super Ninja does not have. So it's going to be much easier for Super Ninja to go with this Phoenix play, rather than Azide going for it and trying to do Colossus at the same time.
Yeah, I actually love that Marauder poke at the front because it forced so much defense out of Azide and Super Ninja that dKiLLeR has a full-blown economy now, and GETSLAMT has a working natural now. So it's basically, 4 bases against 3 with all these cannons that basically don't do anything except sit there if they want to make any type of attacks anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. Very well played maneuver there by GETSLAMT and by dKiLLeR. I felt like they underreacted to the cannons initially, but luckily for them, Super Ninja didn't actually put them in a position where they could really threaten GETSLAMT's main base. They were only preventing dKiLLeR from taking that expansion, and he canceled a lot of the cannons too, so that allowed them to very easily clean them up and take that back expansion. I'm not even entirely sure that he maybe should have let an extra cannon or two go down to defend that pylon, just to make it a lot harder for GETSLAMT to actually clean them all up.
And delaying those Marauders at the back there means they can't snipe the buildings at the front. You can't be in 2 places at once. So you're right. If they maybe left some of the cannons or tried cannon rushing in second place and GETSLAMT space, maybe things would have turned out a tiny bit better.
So now we do see, of course, a couple of Void Rays and some Phoenixes moving around the map. We'll allow them at least some good scouting information to see where their opponents are expanding to, and we'll realize the situation they're in economically pretty quickly, I think. You have a Spore Crawler going down, but not going to be up in time, so we do see that Super Ninja is going to be able to lift quite a few drones, I should say, out of the back here of dKiLLeR's main. So it does, or yes, it is indeed his main, or natural actually, my bad, main over here. I'll get it figured out one of these days, guys. So he will actually be able to kill off quite a few drones. So he's going to be able to do some economic damage with these Phoenixes. But the real problem is going to be is drones are pretty easily replaced, especially when you are on a 2 going on a 3 base economy. So these Phoenix plays will help to slow them down a little bit. But, I mean, GETSLAMT's taking the gold down here in the bottom left. We, of course, have dKiLLeR taking this 3rd base up here in the top right-hand corner. I mean, they're going to have to be able to push out soon, or their opponents are going to just get way too far ahead of them.
Yeah, and I think they're smart enough to know that they need to push out soon. We do see the Colossus actually adding up pretty rapidly, so if they push off of maybe 5 Colossus and a bunch of Phoenixes, they could do some heavy damage before too many Vikings are out, too many units besides these Infestors and Lings are out, because Starport, the second Starport for GETSLAMT is just now finishing. He still has no Vikings.
You do see now those Phoenixes doing a little bit of harassment and then getting out of there. Do see he does have the ship level 1 weapons on the way. Is anticipating Colossus out of Azide and Super Ninja.
Oh, Infestor's getting lifted here. Oh boy, this is not good. This is not good.
Definitely not good at all. Here comes the rest of the Phoenixes. Does get a fungal on a couple of the Phoenixes. Trying to get the fungals off on these Phoenixes, but if he can lift all these, it would be very good. But here comes a couple of Marines over, and not only do they save the Infestors, they get all but one of the Phoenixes, a Super Ninja, and the one last remaining battered Phoenix heads home. And now they're not going to have these Phoenixes to help deal with any potential Vikings or anything out of their opponents. And you see Azide expanding here. And I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do now at this point without those Phoenixes besides play defensively. If they go for a push here, I can't help but feel like, just looking at the units tab here, you can see already just 2 Vikings out on the field. Is 4 more in production, though, that by the time they go ahead and push their opponents, they can maybe stop this gold base from going up. They're going to have to be extremely careful, because right now Super Ninja basically has nothing to add to this army of him and Azide's.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a pretty powerful army in his own right, and there's not too much out here that can actually deal with Colossus efficiently. We do see GETSLAMT sacrificing his gold base. He knows he can't engage without Vikings or, some type of tech besides just bio.
Yep, definitely agree with you there. We see now more Phoenixes getting added on. It's definitely going to need a lot of Phoenixes and or Void Rays to try and deal with the Vikings. You see Super Ninja actually cannoning over here at this top expansion. Probably wants to take this gold base. And now it looks like they're going to try and push, and it looks like they're going to circumvent the army here and get after this 3rd base of dKiLLeR. dKiLLeR immediately going to pull all his drones, try and sneak them down here to this expansion he does have going up. Do not believe they've spotted this yet, but we see Super Ninja going to just head over there. We'll spot this expansion, and all these drones should actually manage to get cleaned up at the same time. If this is going on, we actually have a Ling run by over here at Azide's expansion, and that Nexus is definitely going to go down. Nothing's going to get over here to save this in time. So it looks like a little bit of a base swap here, but they're actually not killing dKiLLeR's secondary expansion. He burrowed all of those drones, and they're actually backing up. They're going to allow that to survive, and dKiLLeR's going to be able to just instantly saturate that expansion.
Yeah, that makes no sense, because the Lings could have been walled off at the front there, as we see a potential engagement here at the front. Lings getting melted. Oh, not very good control out of dKiLLeR there for a second.
We have a couple of Phoenixes trying to lift all these Infestors, but a lot of the Infestors will manage to get away. Fungal growths do go down. All these infestors essentially do have no energy. We see, of course, those Vikings working on the Colossus, getting 2 of them down extremely quickly, but the ground army here from GETSLAMT is getting eradicated, and it looks like Superninja and Azide may actually be able to push through here, not even grabbing another infestor. I think lifting those infestors, even though he didn't actually get to kill them, Pams, really helped them to make this push.
Definitely, definitely. They did a lot of damage to begin with, but the macro of GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR are kicking in now, cleaning up all the Colossus, cleaning up all the Stalkers. It's not looking too good for the PP team.
Well, I think at least on the bright side is if we look at the supplies here, we see, of course, our Pink Terran at the second high spot at 106, dKiLLeR at 109, and then 93 for Azide. So Azide definitely not in a terrible position, but only 42 for Superninja. And I think that's really what's hurting them here.
Yeah, Superninja only mining on 1 base right now, just now trying to get the gold up. The Ling counters have been really, really efficient by dKiLLeR, and you know, Superninja mining out, and they basically need to do something at this point because they're down army, they're down economy, and this Marauder Marine push at the front here might just do enough damage to maybe force a cancel at the gold or something.
Yeah, we do see, of course, he did end up getting this base established, exactly what I was talking about. When they didn't actually kill this, they allowed this base to get established by dKiLLeR. Now I have a little bit of a run-by attempt here, but Superninja with just way too many cannons up here at this gold. Not going to be able to pull that off. But we do see GETSLAMT now re-expanding to the gold. dKiLLeR also has a base in this bottom left-hand corner. Looks like a single Ling burrowed over here by Azide's base. And now looks like they're thinking about getting ready to push up. A couple of Lings getting in position. A little bit of a Bioforce moving out. Doesn't really have a lot of Vikings, but of course Azide did have his Colossus count reduced decently, but still does have 4 Colossus with this composition.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they have to have some expansions besides the ones in their base right now, but they're getting poked at, they're getting denied by GETSLAMT at the bottom left here, but his bio gets caught by Colossus. Oh, this is not good, this is not good. And the drone transfer gets caught too. That was probably a dozen drones that just went down here. And
another little minor engagement in the middle map as well.
But the Phoenixes get taken out by the infestors while the bio just gets chewed up by Azide's Colossus. Not that good of a trade for GETSLAMT there, but we'll see if they can remax in time to defend any potential pushes here.
Well, we do actually have dKiLLeR moving over here to this gold base here of Superninja, throwing some infested Terran down as well. Looks like he should actually be able to kill off the Nexus here, so they will at least deny a lot of economic game here by Azide and Superninja. Now, Azide's army is extremely strong. We see him actually pushing back towards this gold base for GETSLAMT once again, and GETSLAMT actually really needs to get a base up here, because if we actually get a chance to look into GETSLAMT's main, he is actually getting pretty close to mined out here, and that's why we can see his forces actually dwindling to about the even size here with Superninja. So really we only have right now dKiLLeR with much of a force in Azide, but Broodlords are on the way. 8 Broodlords now morphing in. Don't know where he's actually hiding them at just yet. I think he's hiding them back somewhere in his main. Here they are in the back of the main here. See these Broodlords now morphing in. So right now dKiLLeR just really needs to buy time, because there is not enough Stalkers here from Azide to really be able to adequately defend against those Broodlords. See them burrowing once again, all the drones to save the drones. And now here comes the Broodlords, here comes the Bioforces, and instantly Azide's going to have to start to retreat, because he has really no way to deal with these Broodlords. 4 Phoenixes are not going to take out all of these Broodlords, even with just a handful of Bio units to help support them.
Great surround by the Lings. Great surrounded by the Lings. Broodlords doing their thing. Oh, this is looking very, very grim for Azide, losing all his Colossus, and Superninja completely mined out, so looks like it might be GG here. And there's a GG by Azide and a GG by Superninja.
Wow, definitely a series living up to everything it was supposed to be, and then some, as we do see GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR getting the eventual victory over Azide and Superninja. I gotta be honest, Azide and Superninja did a great job holding on in that game as long as they did. I mean, they got quite a bit behind GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR very early on. Went for that cannon rush. Cannon rush, it delayed dKiLLeR a little bit. He did just take that out-of-base expansion instead, and then canceled a lot of the cannons, and really, GETSLAMT didn't have much of a difficult time at all, just sending his first 2 Marauders over there, killed off the pylon along with the cannon, took an expansion back there of his own, and then killed a lot of the tech of Azide and Superninja at the front of their base with that wall off, and it was like just the beginning of the end for Azide and Superninja. They had like a kind of decent start with that cannon rush, but the counterattack very early in the game by GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR really set them up for the mid game to be in a commanding position. And, you know, Azide and Superninja definitely had some good battles, I think. Obviously, their army composition was very strong, did a lot of damage, but the economy of GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR, like, no matter how many armies they lost against Azide's army, they were just eventually able to overwhelm him, and the Broodlords were the last little tech puzzle piece they needed to end that game.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to Superninja not having an army, and you know, it might not be his fault, you know, completely, because he wasn't able to take a gold, he wasn't able to take a third. The lean counter, the bio counters by GETSLAMT and dKiLLeR were on point. You know, they denied the bases, they denied the economy, and their macro slowly won in the game.
Yep, definitely.